video games commentary.
We play Supreme Commander 2 under a set of rules we call NG rules. Now, we would very much like if we could get more people to play under these rules with us so we can get bigger games going. To accomplish this, we have set up a Steam group called SupCom2 NG Rules. The link will be provided in the description below. This group is of course public because we would want as many people to join as possible, and there is no obligation to actually play with us. If you want to join or know about our games and videos or just have a chat, please do. If the group turns out to be popular enough and there's enough demand, we might even consider getting some tournaments going and other events. And on to the game of the day. Hello, this is the Jack of Strategy Games commentary, bringing you another Supreme Commander 2 game. It's a 4-player free-for-all on Arctic Refuge, a brilliant map. The players are, we've got Dirty Lobster who's Cybran, we've got Takorific who's Aeon, we have Mr. Le General who's Cybran as well, and we've got Supreme who's UEF, who's instantly going either air or for an air scout, which is brilliant. Lobster's going for the quick land factory, and it looks like Le General is going for the mass points first, as is Takorific. And there's a land factory from Takorific. So it looks like in terms of factory production, Le General is behind. And Lobster's pushing forward. We can see Supreme with an early radar installation. I wonder if that was forced by a few games ago where me and Dark kinda teamed up on one game on this map. I didn't put it on YouTube because it was kinda bad from some perspectives, but oh well. Supreme's got a plane up, but has not scouted with it yet. He could be saving it for whenever he needs it. Le General seems to be going air. He's got an air factory in the back, possibly for a scout, but it looks like placing it there. He's going for a full-on air spam. That's my suspicions anyway. And Takorific seems to be going pure land for now. Lobster being oddly passive at the start of a game on this map. Usually is instantly charging in with the first loyalist, which he would have got away with quite well, especially on Supreme, who's actually queuing up 4 land factories, so I guess he did build an air scout and forgot about it, which is unfortunate. Either that or he's saving it for when he needs the scouting information. Le General looks like he's going land as well. So could we see a mixture of Cybran, air and land from Le General? And a point defense from Takorific. Looks like he's planning on creeping Le General, which is unfortunate. Le General could charge that engineer and kill that point defense easily. I wonder if he'll suspect it's a point defense or a radar. Either way, he is charging. It looks like Lobster's going to charge at Takorific, but that'll be quickly stopped by the comm that's backing up those 2 tanks. The move to do here would be to capture it, and that's exactly what he's doing. Le General is capturing that point defense, which will be a huge benefit to Le General. He could also go for the engineer at this point, if he can capture it before it runs away or the point defense kills it. Nope, he's just going to kill it, which is unfortunate. Should have tried to capture it, Le General. There's a scout from Supreme going away, and Lobster just charged past the comm. Just killed 1 tank, killed a mobile missile launcher. That mobile missile launcher survives, but he's just trying to avoid the tanks. All his bots are crippled. He's just charging on through Takorific, making full use of the extra speed the Cybrans get. He's got that mass point. He's going to have to keep outrunning that comm somehow. Oh, there's 1 bot down. Dodged 1 shot. And he's just going for the mass points. Poor Takorific. Not a great game for him this time round. Le General just running in with his comm, capturing what he wants, while Lobster just snipes mass points with 3 bots. Looks like he's gearing up to do it to Supreme as well. I wonder if Lobster will notice a changing colour with that mass point. The General is running away. One mass point down. Luckily that point defense La General captured is going to prove very useful. Lofter hasn't even noticed and charged into the PD. And that scout's still turning around the map, and it looks like Le General is going to hide gunships in the back of his base. If he keeps him hidden long enough, he will be unstoppable. The only person who's got a chance of actually scouting it would be Supreme, but his plane is just circling around the middle, which is unfortunate. And here we see a land push from Lobster going into Supreme. All Supreme's got is a point defense and it can't even cover his main base, but luckily Lobster is charging right into it. Supreme's trying to build a second point defense, but it's not going to get anywhere, and that first point defense is just focused down instantly. Second point defense doesn't even get a chance to get built. Pure engineer mass point him back to there, that was never even completed. Looks like Supreme is going Titans though, so hooray for that. The afterburn will be very useful afterwards. And here comes the comm. But he's been outrun by those loyalists very easily. At this point there's nothing Supreme can do. He can't keep up with the loyalists in the slightest. He's just going to have to bide his time, and here comes Le General. He's just waiting, he's trying to avoid the PD, but yep, he's avoiding it. He's being very cautious. All the while Lobster's just killing what he wants from Supreme's base. He's trying to make around the comm shots, but he's not succeeding, but he does outrun it once again, and he keeps on going around that base. Poor Supreme. He's trying to bring in his Titans as much as possible, but they're still outnumbered quite massively. They could be focused down very quickly. Here comes Le General, regrouping his army and going for Supreme as well. It's almost like it's a team game here, and it's so unfortunate for Supreme and Takarific. But luckily Takarific has been left alone long enough to rebuild his army, so at least he won't get jumped on once again. I can't say the same for Supreme, he's not going to get that luxury. As here comes Le General, who's actually backing off after killing that mass point. Maybe he's being very cautious, maybe he's worried about a counterattack from Takarific. But luckily he's not going to have to worry about that, as Lobster's gearing up to move in on Takarific once again. Gunships are just hiding in the back base. They'll be a brilliant asset for Le General later in the game if they remain hidden. Here we go. Two forces gearing up for an attack. So far, Takarific has the advantage so long as he keeps his range. Lobster knows this and is being very cautious, and Le General is moving on. Supreme is going to try and snipe with his Titans, and oh, Supreme could avoid that. Just avoids it very slightly. And Le General once again retreating to his base. It looks like Takarific's moving out on someone. It looks like he's heading towards Le General. Takarific wants vengeance for getting his point defense and mass point captured. He does have tanks, he can outrange them for the most part, but he's going to have difficulty microing around those Barackmen. Hopefully the control clicks will provide useful. And it looks like he's going to make full use of mobile missile launchers here. There goes a radar. Excellent first start, but here comes the gunships. All 12 of them. Unless Takarific notices them soon enough, they're going to cause a lot of damage considering there's only 12 of them. We'll find out if he ever starts spamming air. But here comes a strike on front. Two-pronged attack from Le General. Gunships at the side distract his attention with his main force up front. But it's not doing too well. His main force is getting hurt quite a lot. And oh my god, what happened to Supreme? It looks like Lobster jumped on him. Poor Supreme. Oh god. Takarific's getting eaten by the gunships. His land army got eaten by the Brackmen. It's not looking good for Takarific or Supreme. Yeah, it looks like Le General is just focusing on the factories now. Gunships have a lot of hit points. He has lost 2 of them. I wonder how many is actually left. They're actually having trouble taking down the remaining factories. They will get there, but it's going to take time, and a suicide army of tanks here charging right into the Brackman shells, which is unfortunate. They actually could still win, up until the gunships show their face on the army. Yep, not looking good. There's a control K from Supreme. It looks like Lobster walked completely over him there, which is unfortunate. He does have 1 engineer, but Lobster's going to end up running into it. And here comes the gunships on the land force, giving up with the factoring. Looks like he's going for the comm. Comm's going to hide in the shield as I would expect. There we go, the shield's taking most of the hits now. He's going to need to get some heavy AA out soon. Otherwise that comm's not going to last long. He's still taking some form of damage. There's the AA upgrade on the factory, but that alone is not going to be enough. You can see it's minuscule amount of damage here. And there goes the last engineer for Supreme, and Lobster's army is now pushing in on Le General. Poor Takarific is trying to run away from his base, but he saves his land army at least. But Lobster has an enormous loyalist army. He could easily push in and inflict a lot of damage on anyone right now. So it looks like Lobster's got the advantage for now. We'll just see what Le General can do later in the game to counter that. Takarific is not in a good position in the slightest. He might have a chance to rebuild here. It depends on who Lobster decides to go for. He may go for Le General, assuming he's a bigger threat. And it looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to regroup all his loyalists and charge in at Takarific. Le General. Le General is building another swarm of gunships. He could try to go for... He could send them over to Takarific now and deal with that land army. But it looks like his focus is going to be on Lobster's army. A good volley from Brackman will end Lobster's army. We'll see if it happens or not. But that is a massive death army, zigzagging its way. Oh, he is having trouble here. He is getting close though. A power detonate would save Le General here. And this is not looking good for Le General. Le General's Brackman's die messily. And he's also got Takarific's army in the south to deal with though. It looks like this fight is going to be in completely in Lobster's favour for now. Structural power detonates his only saving grace at this point. The General doesn't know what to do. Looks like he's going to focus on the tanks from Takarific. He's also pushing in more Brackman to the Loyalists, but the Loyalists can micro around those shells very easily. Which is unfortunate. And then our army squandered by Le General, with nothing he could do but charge them in. The gunships could help, but it may very well be too late. Le General's comm is also getting sniped by the tanks. Not looking good. He has got the shield up, but he's charging into them. Stay in the shield, Le General! He is trying to run away, but it could very well be too late, as he's on no visible health. The tanks change target, buying him some time to outrun them. But he's got a bigger problem being Lobster's army, which is heading in his direction this instant, with a jump jet in tow. The General could kill it, helping Takarific, and it looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. And he gets most of them. Unfortunately, Lobster still has a large army to speak of, and he's also claiming the mass points of Supreme. and a control key from Le General, so it's now between Lobster and Takarific. For the harsh start Takarific has got, is managed to live till the last. Let's see if he can actually fend off Lobster long enough to rebuild. Unfortunately, he does not have many mass points. 3 to speak of. And here comes Lobster. Charging right into the factory shield, rendering it useless. And right out the other side. And there goes the factory mass point. Army for the south as well. He's just sandwiching Takarific here. Takarific's only choice is to save his last factory and engineer. And a jump jet from Lobster saving his last 2 bots if they get away far enough. And they did. We need to keep running though. Lobster looks like he's regrouping all his loyalists, so this could be the final battle of this game. Lobster has an enormous amount of loyalists right now. He went full on loyalist spam, which is actually really hard to deal with in most games. Kiting them is usually your best bet, but no one really had that option when they're fighting in their own base. You try to kite them, you lose your base. Your only choice is ever to charge in and strike them and distract them. And a jump jet completely bypassing the tanks. They didn't get far though, he must not have that extended range. He's just going for the structures, the engineer and the factory. The last factory. That's Takarific out of this game. So it looks like Lobster has won. He has won. Well done, Lobster. You managed to distribute your attacks between the 2 sides and take Le General by surprise. Then you just outspammed everyone. Well, terrific win by Lobster. Hope you enjoyed it. You can check out my channel for more and you can always subscribe. So, yeah.